In this video series, we're talking about practical ways to live out light in your business. Light stands for you proactively live your life out of love, integrity, gratitude, humble service, and transformative excellence. And you apply this approach as you progress towards your short-term business goals, your medium-term, long-term, and eternal vision for your business. And by doing so, you are progressing towards your business goals, where the focus is on having a positive kingdom impact on as many people as possible as the primary target. And then you will find that not only do you hit your other business targets, revenue, clients, whatever it is, percentage growth, but you'll more likely than not vastly exceed what you expected as a result of you prioritizing kingdom impact and having a positive influence on others. In this particular playlist, we're talking about how to apply biblical love, and this one here is one that I subconsciously have been trying to do myself, and the people that interact with me on my team will attest to this, and that is you should try to absorb small costs whenever possible instead of passing them on to the other person. And what that means in my situation right now is it means that what my company what Kingdom Impact Lab currently is in the early startup stage, and it means that as we're growing and developing the framework and building and all of these things, that we currently have not got any income coming in for full transparency. And the way that I'm operating the business is based on personal funds, having to sell my investments and various things, which if you're not careful in a situation like this, you become at risk of becoming a little bit stingy, attached to the money, trying to cut costs at every corner, which is not really very productive. So if you are looking, if you're in your business and you're in a situation like I am, it's probably best to try to absorb the small costs if you can. It'd mean to still pay your team what they deserve and try to give them financial incentives. It'd be to try to align your business interests and goals in a way that would resonate with the people that I'm helping you and their financial goals and incentives. So one thing that I'm trying to do at Kingdom Impact Lab is to prioritize trying to speak to people and having book calls, and that's what I'm trying to do right now at the moment. And I'm trying to find a way where I can give my team member an incentive to get me more book calls, where I would pay an additional fee per book call on top of the base fee that they get. And the reason here is that I do have faith that if I have a lot of book calls, that eventually I'm going to find a way to generate revenue in the company. And in this particular case here, where you would absorb small costs, it would be that acting out of love is I am sacrificing my present moment perceived financial comfort and security in order to give someone else a benefit, and that is how I'm doing this as well. Another case as well in a situation like this is something that drives me a little bit insane, and I think it is kind of unfair to do, and that would be that sometimes when you go out and eat at a restaurant, for example, and you see the price, and then you see the price of the food and all of this stuff, but what you don't see is a little tiny asterisk by it that says it does not include sales tax, it does not include service fee. And then you are expecting the bill to come to a certain price, and then you look at it at the end and it's actually 20% higher because of all the extra things that have been added on as well. And in the case like that, the company is advertising what the price is before tax, as a way to reduce the amount that you perceive that you're paying, only to find that when you go to the bill, you're shocked because the bill is a little bit higher. Well, if you look how people would feel in that case, it feels like it doesn't matter how, from a psychological standpoint, it doesn't matter how much you're expecting to pay, even if it's just for the sake of numbers. If you're expecting to pay 100 in whatever $100, for example, you're expecting to pay, and then you go to pay the bill and it's actually $110, and you've had to pay an extra $10 more. In the grand scheme of things, $10 is not a lot. It's not something to get too worried about or too worked up about. But because you've had to pay more than you expect, naturally you feel a little bit cheated. You feel negative emotions come up, kind of thing, because you have to pay more than what you expected to. You feel like there's a bit of deception going on. It's in general not a good thing. Now, flip it around. I'm signing up for something through on YouTube it's called Invest Answers, which is a great channel, and I'm going to sign up to some of his tools, and one of them is $60 per year, and I expect to pay $60, and when I get there, and then it just says, oh, here's a coupon code that you can apply, and when I apply the coupon code, and suddenly it's $36. I'm paying 40% less than what I expected to pay, and I'm suddenly over the moon because I'm saving $24 instead of paying $60, which I was more than prepared and happy to pay. And then that gives me a whole bunch of positive emotions afterwards, because you're getting something for less than you thought it was. The point I'm trying to make is that if you can absorb the small cost instead of passing them on, and you can be generous with your money, you will get more of a positive. You will be operating out of love. You will be having a positive influence on the people that you interact with, and people will come away with positive emotions compared to what would happen if you do the opposite. Okay, that's all. See you next time.